Well, we go to Scotland where a new law has passed to battle crime.
You're kidding.
What are we talking about here? Murders, rapes, shootings, muggings?
How about no?
But her feelings.
What? Fucking pronouns!
Prime Minister, your thoughts.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
I'm Jazz Borganzo, and this
Go fuck yourself.
is What's Next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Borganzo, What's Next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Wednesday. There are a number of trends going on right now. One of them I did in my last story in regards to the Netherlands and euthanasia of healthy people who are going through serious bouts of depression, schizophrenia, personality disorders, even autism. They are being left with no choice but to bump themselves off because doctors are like, well, we can't do anything more for you. That's sad and tragic. But this trend, not as tragic, but still not good either. You got a number of countries who are passing laws restricting free speech. Yes, if you get easily offended, butthurt, you're clutching pearls, your rectums are clenching because how dare they say something to me on social media? You're going to make me cry. Well, in Scotland, they're like, yeah, we're going to pass a law. You may face charges. And if I'm the Scottish Prime Minister, I'm loving it. Pathetic. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Scottish leader claims criticism of hate speech law only from the right wing. Of course it is. Despite opposition from liberals like J.K. Rowling and Joe Rogan. J.K. Rowling plays prominent in this story. Kuzma Yousaf, the far-left minister of Scotland, has attempted to brand the outpouring of opposition to his government's new draconian speech restrictions as being concocted by the right wing. On Monday, the controversial Hate Crime and Public Order Act came into force, criminalizing offensive statements, even those made in the privacy of one's home. And one's home in stirring up hatred against a range of protected groups and characteristics such as age, disability, race, religion, sexual orientation, and transmentalism. Those falling foul of the new law face up to 7 years in prison. And even if it was found, there was not the intent to stir up the so-called hatred, but merely is believed it could be a result of their comments. Yes, if you have opinions, you will be imprisoned. Wow. The anti-free speech law has drawn widespread criticism, including from law enforcement officials in Scotland, as well as prominent figures such as Harry Potter author and legend, Scottish resident herself, J.K. Rowling, who dared police on Monday, arrest me, come at me, bro, as she vowed to continue to call men are men and women are women. This week, Subovian, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that, Suburban Brown, a minister in Yousaf's leftist separate Scottish National Party, said that misgendering someone on social media could lead to criminal charges under the new hate crime law. Really? No. The bill has also been seen pushback internationally, with comedian podcast host Joe Rogan blasting Yousaf's government as being out of their mind over reports that the law could potentially use to crack down on statements made by stage comedians during their theatrical performances, which Rogan warned could have negative ramification for the Edinburgh Fringe Comedy Festival held annually in Scottish capital. Meanwhile, Tesla chief and icon himself and savage Elon Musk said the law in Scotland demonstrated why it's so important to preserve freedom of speech. J.K. Rowling dares Scottish police to arrest her, again, come at me, bro, for saying men are men, women are women, and fuck the rest of y'all. Firing back at the mounting criticism of legislation he spearheaded during his time, Nicola Sturgeon's Justice Secretary, First Minister Yousaf, attempted to discount the opposition, including from longtime liberals like Rogan and Rowling, as merely right-wing attacks. They are right-wing actors, of course. I think it's very clear. From particularly someone like Joe Rogan, who's never going to be sympathy for the fact that we are bringing in legislation to clamping down on the hatred. You bigots. So I'm not surprised by his criticism necessarily. What I would say that the threshold of criminality in terms of new offenses is very, very high indeed. Your behavior has to be threatening or abusive or intended to stir up hatred. Clutching pearls, rectum clenching. Yousaf said in comments reported by the Scottish Daily Express. And I've asked a question of many people who have opposed the act. Can they give me an example of behavior that is threatening, abusive, and intends to stir up hatred that they don't think should be prosecuted? No answer comes. Bullshit. So the thresholds are very high. Freedom of expression protections are embedded within the bill. And of course, police could clarify if they're not going to be targeting comedians or playwrights that have been suggested by someone who spreads disinformation or misinformation. I'm very confident that we've got a robust piece of legislation that will protect people against the rioting hatred we see right across the world. However, despite the claims of the environmental minister, who remains deeply unpopular with his own country, gee, I wonder why, after being installed as a scandal-ridden Nicola Sturgeon's replacement without recourse to the electorate, members of USAF's own police force came out with warnings against the law. The Scottish Police Federation, in a letter to Scottish Parliament, warned that the law could be weaponized by the active fringe, the left, on the nation and their officers and have not laid sufficient training to enforce the law. You can't enforce anything like this. You're literally forcing thought. That is what you're doing. You're making thought a hate crime. My thoughts. Story goes on a little bit further, but you pretty much get the gist. This is garbage. This is trash. This is bullshit. And again, to quote Joe Rogan, they're out of their minds. You're basically policing thought. You're making thought a hate crime. If someone has an opinion, you could possibly be charged and up to 7 years in prison. This is bullshit. Then you have someone like Gina Carano. Gina Carano, who basically had opinions, regarding 2020, those wonderful, lovely riots, the shenanigans and the fraud in Schneid, and also thoughts on, the coof and the poison poke. No, we can't have that. Disney fired her like that. Now, if Gina was in Scotland, well, that would be a problem because Gina would be facing charges right now of hate crimes and prison time to boot. But J.K. Rowling, who has been staunch, and I mean she has been staunch, grounded. Like I said, she's no conservative. She's a liberal. She's an old school liberal. But she knows the difference between stupidity, common sense, and facts, and critical thinking. Men are men. Women are women. Men don't play in women's sports. Women don't play in men's sports. And guess what? You can't become, your dude, you can't become a chick. Oh, no. We can't have that, JK. Even those who've worked with her on the Harry Potter movies have come out and dumped hate on her because of her stance on facts. But she's a Scottish resident, and she says, well, arrest me. Come at me. You want some of this? You don't want none of this smoke. Good for JK. And again, let me reiterate, this law is trash. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please have a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue to spread the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.